Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Paul Church from Clarity Craft here in the UK. Good afternoon and welcome. Another hour of Clarity Social TV for your enjoyment, hopefully. The lovely Grace is in the room with you all the way over in New York. And she's there to help. So if you've got any questions, she'll either answer them or filter them through. So we've got a lovely hour planned for you. I thought what we would do is sort of go back and look at a collection of plates that we launched when we celebrated our 10th anniversary of Groovy. Then, if you're all well behaved, I may give you a sneaky peek of the brand new MIDI plates being launched on Friday. So yeah, I wonder how many people are going to come in for a sneaky peek. We love a sneaky peek, don't we? Definitely. And I'm terrible at teasing you all. So as long as you all behave, then I may share the designs that come up. If you go to our website, there's the banner for today's show actually gives you some beautiful artwork from the design team that's been received already. Sound is great. Thank you, Gracie. And she said she loves the sneaky peek. Don't we all? So yeah, just a nice gentle hour. And I thought we'd have a look at the 123 online course that's upcoming with the lovely Louise and myself that we launched on Friday for colour work. Maybe you missed the Friday TV show. And what else have I got to share with you? Lots of different bits and pieces. So we'll wait for a few friends to join us because we've got lots of friends in there. See, everyone does love a sneaky peek, don't they? Very inquisitive. So I can see there's lots of chat coming in. So I'm going to go over to a different screen just to explain how things work. Maybe you're tuning in. Actually, are you tuning in for the first time live? Do you normally watch us afterwards on our catch up and craft section? Or do you just watch us on YouTube? Or maybe this is the very first time that you found Clarity Social TV. So put a comment in the comments underneath and let us know. And Gracie will let me know later on. So yeah, there we go. Right, I'm going to go away from the chat because I could sit here all day just enjoying the company of my friends all over the world. So let me see what we're going to bring up. I'm going to bring up a collection of plates. Now, this is a collection of plates that the idea behind it was Barb's idea. And Barb worked very closely with the lovely Jazz that many of you have met on our social TV and at our events as well. And to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the launch of Groovy, Barb thought it'd be really nice to have sort of like a different size plate. So that's where the idea of the MIDI plates came into play. So on the screen, just to that side, not this side, it's that side, you can see you've got the 5-digit item number, which is 42519. You then have an image of the product, what the product is, and then the price. So for example, we have 42519. This is the French lace Midi Groovi and Platemate collection. And the price on that is £52.99. Now, if you belong to any of our clubs, then you know you will automatically get either your 10, 12.5 or 15% discount on that as well. So maybe you missed this the first time around when we launched them, and they were launched on, I think it was Sunday the 3rd of July, if I remember rightly. So you can always go back on our Cash Up and Craft section and have a look at that as well. So there's a couple of ways in which you can order. You can either order via the claritycraft.com website. And when you go onto that page, there is a little button for the current live show that says Clarity TV. You click in there and everything's in there that I'm going to share with you over the course of this hour. Then when we move on to our next live TV show, that automatically gets moved into our catch up and craft area on the website as well. So they're there. I mean, we started doing this, I think it was in October of last year. So every single episode of Clarity Social TV can be found in the catch up and craft area on the website, or if you go to our Clarity YouTube page, they're all on there as well, together with the In the Shack with Barb. There's also craft alongs in there. You've got Groovy Tuesday in there as well. So there's a vast library of videos that if you're looking to sort of find out about different things, then that's the way to go. Alternatively, if you prefer to make a phone call to place an order or ask a question, then if you're calling between Monday and Friday, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m., you can call 01732 868 215, and either the lovely Sue or Jazz or Pete will be there to answer your call. So just two easy ways of ordering. So when we talk about the brand new size, the MIDI size, if I show you something, so what I thought we'd do is, many of you, fingers and thumbs, many of you will be familiar with our standard A5 square plate. And this is one of our best selling plates ever and is included in the starter kit. So this is Barb's Butterfly Reef. Okay, so that is your A5 square, and you can see sort of, just to put it in context, side of my hand. Then we have our little A6 square, our baby plates. So my hand covers it up. So Barb thought it would be lovely if we had a plate that was in between, without losing. I mean, you can see there's no detail lost between the A5 square and the A6 square, but sometimes that's a little bit too big for what you want to do. Sometimes that's a little bit too small. So to have something in the middle, this is where the MIDI plate comes into play. Okay, so I mean, it just makes perfect sense, doesn't it? And if I show you another way, just in relation to the comparison of the sizes, so let me just pop the, see, because if I put them on top of one another, you can't really see because of the design. So this is the size of an A5 square plate. You can see my hand's just on there. The MIDI plate, you can see how much smaller the MIDI plate is there. And then our little A6 square baby plate is even smaller. Really blurry. Let me move those to one side. So you really can see there is a significant difference between, I mean, especially if you go from there to there. And so to have a design in the MIDI is absolutely perfect. So back at the beginning of July, when we celebrated, we launched this brand new collection, and this was the French lace MIDI. And Barb's always loved the effect of like the Richelieu type of effect. We'll have a look at these plates in a little bit more detail, but they've got one lovely thing in common, and that is stripes. Okay, so I'm just going to bring in the plate on the overhead. So let's have a look. I'm going to zoom in now. Let's, if I come in a little bit closer, I reckon. So the plates are all available individually as well. So this is Antoinette, and I love that sort of design in the background. Do I have a favorite? Yeah, I do, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. So let's have a look at some artwork from the lovely design team. So this one is from Jane Telford. Now Jane's actually put her skills to good use, and she's pico cut not only around the outside, but also on the inside. And so when you have a look at the plate itself, if I zoom out, so Jane, she hasn't added in those stripes, just in little areas, just to hold those little corner pieces in place. This one here from Glynis. So Glynis has taken and replaced the background design with an embossed grid pattern, and then she's done some lovely pico cutting on there. Then the next one in the collection is Delphine. So you can see you've got those stripes, and the stripes, you can have them going in different directions. So for example, on this one, they're in a vertical position, but in this one, if I turn it round, they're in a horizontal position. So you know, with the beauty of Groovy, that if you wanted all of these to be in the same direction, then you can just move your parchment around. This one here from Glynis, a little bit of dorsing on the background there, and then just a little bit of white work just to pick up the actual designs, because there's so much design on this that we often can't see it until we trace it out. This one here, Karen Jackson. Now this comes from the platemate, the Midi platemate, which we'll get to. Then we have Genevieve. Let's move this lot out of the way. Where am I going to put? I'm going to put that over there. So we've got Genevieve, and this one works that way, but it also works that way as well. So depending on what you want to do. So Hazel Edwards has done this one. So taking it exactly how it comes. Lovely sort of, very sort of soft colouring. And then she's written happy 10th anniversary within each of those stripes. Really beautiful. This one here from Josie Davison. So Josie's taken the top half, flipped it round, and then done the bottom half to create a central panel. And this time she's used our lovely Pergamano rub-ons in the middle. The next one is Juliet. So you've got a lovely arrangement of roses. Now, who did this one? Another one from Josie. Queen of the Grids. So I'm going to zoom in on this one. When you look at, I can come in closer, I think. Let me try. I bring that in. Just, it's very windy outside, and the overhead camera, that's just going to focus. Just give it a moment. There we go. So because we've got sort of like a full ceiling in the building, the wind just catches underneath and just makes the camera wobble a little. It's not my shaky hands, it is the overhead camera. So that one is from Josie Davidson. And then the final one from that plate is from Jill Askham. And she's included some stitching. So what she's done, where rather than trace out the lines, she's perforated at each cross point and then stitched. If I come in on this one, give that a moment to focus. There we go. So you can see that's lovely metallic thread, which you'll find on the website. So it just gives it a different twist to your finished piece of artwork. So now let's have a look at the platemate. Because we had to come up, I say we, the royal we, Barbara and Jazz so obviously came up with the idea of the new size, but obviously it was too small to fit within the platemate in the starter kit. So Barbara said, well, it is our anniversary, so let's have a new size and a new platemate. So the item number for the platemate on its own is 42442, and Jazz has just put so much on this plate. You've got all these different corners, okay, which you can then just use as borders. You can use them to create complete squares. You can extend them and do rectangles. There's so many different things. And if you tuned in to that show, I'm sure it was the 3rd of July. I'm sure Grace will correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was the 3rd of July. Barb showed us during one of the demonstrations during that launch show on how to extend it or how to just make a complete square. Very, very simple. And the actual plate itself is an A4 square plate. So if you wanted to go larger, for example, then you could use one of our A4 square plate mates on there. Okay, and it comes with a lovely plate design in the middle. So you can see here, if I do that, there's your plate mate, which now houses your lovely midis. And then this one, the lovely rose panel, comes inside it as part of the plate mate. And so now when we bring out more MIDI plates, you've now got your plate mate good to go. So let's have a look at a couple of pieces of artwork from Grace said, did I say July the 3rd? I did. Was I wrong, or was I a day out? I can't remember now. Was it the 3rd? I think it was Sunday the 3rd of July when we kicked off the celebrations. Yeah, I'm sure it was, but Grace will confirm or correct. So let's have a look. So this beautiful piece of artwork from Glynis. I love the candy colours on this one. And it's just taking the plate. Let's just bring that out to one side. Just taking the plate, just with the stripes and these lovely frames. So ignoring the frills on the design. And then the final piece from the lovely Louise, who is currently on holiday. And July the 6th, it was close. That's right, because July the 5th, July the 4th was a Friday, wasn't it? Which was American Independence Day. That's right. And the Saturday was my brother's birthday. So yes, July the 6th. There we go. Wasn't too far off. There's been a lot of dates in between all of those. So yeah, lovely piece of artwork there from Louise. Now, let me come in on this card here. See that lovely colouring on those roses? That is one of the techniques that the lovely Louise is going to cover in our brand new 123 online course, Colourwork for Groovy and Pergamano Parchment Crafters, which we launched on Friday. Now, hands up who was in the room at the morning session on Friday and saw Barb coming towards the end of it with an idea. And then who came back at 2 o'clock to see that idea and then bought that idea? I'm sure many of you were in the room at both times. So, but if you can't watch the whole show, just go back. I think it was right towards the end of the 10 o'clock show on Friday morning. And then I'd say it was probably about 10 past 2 on the 2 o'clock show in the afternoon. It really was that. But if you haven't got time to that, let me just quickly show you. Let me put this lovely artwork to one side. Okay, because and I'm going to change the details on this one. This is, there we go, item number 31828. This is our Pergamano pot holder with sticky ink, perga glue, and dorso oil. Okay, let's have a look on the, Grace has said most people in the room are saying that they tuned in on Friday. So this is, excuse me, I don't know why I turned it around because it's on there. Let me take a piece of, where's that black mat, so we can see. So if I put that on the black mat like so. So this is a holder for your sticky ink, your perga glue, and also your dorso oil. And it also has room for 4 of your Pergamano tools. So for example, if you've got your dorsing oil in there, then you could have your blending pens ready to go there. Then we have our perga glue, which sits beautifully in the middle. And the lovely Jane said, what about if we had a little hole in the bottom so that when you're storing your glue, you can turn it upside down like so, and then you don't get a clogged up end. And then finally, we have our sticky ink. So if I come in on this one, where we're going, there, so you can see, if I come in, hang on, there we go. So if I come in there, so you can see it works beautifully on your desktop and it's easy to access. You haven't got your dorso oil rolling around and your glue won't get all clogged up by storing it upside down, and your sticky ink will no longer get mixed up with your perga glitter. So that was the most popular option that many of our friends at home went for on Friday. However, if you've already got all those different bits and pieces, then you can buy it unloaded. So that will be just like so. if I can't say it's exactly the same. The lovely ladies downstairs. Dave's been making them. Dave was in on Sunday making them. He was in again yesterday making them, and he was in again this morning making them. All hand assembled by lovely Dave. But you can see the construct, and it's lovely. And Jim added in the etching on the inside so that you knew what it was. So if you want the holder on its own, then the item number for that is 31827. Okay, so yeah, if you did miss the Friday shows, definitely go back and watch what happened. I mean, we often say Barb and the guys can come up with an idea in the morning, they get all their heads together, do some sketches, etc., etc. The team then do it on the computer, see if it all works, make a prototype, and then if it's good to go, it's on the website to sell. And it really did prove that point on Friday. So I also mentioned that lovely piece of artwork from Louise, and on Friday we launched the third of our 123 online courses. So let me bring the details up on there. So the item number for this is 60227. It's the 123 online course colouring for Groovy and Pergamano parchment crafters. It's £60. There's no club discounts on any of our online courses. I've got this in A4 format, so it's easier to show, but what you will receive is a lovely A5 version, and you also get 6 pieces of A6 parchment to practice on. So we do 3 live shows, which often run from about 1 until 4, and it's on 3 different Wednesdays. So it starts on the 3rd of September, following Wednesday on the 10th, and the following Wednesday on the 17th. Now, we use a lovely platform called Circle. So we call it like the inner circle. And when you purchase this course, you will be sent a link to gain access to that classroom. And by being given the keys to that classroom, it means you can go in before, because there's a Q&A room in there. If you can't join in on the live shows, I can't think of the word, then don't worry, because you can go back and watch it afterwards, and you can watch it again and again and again. Or maybe you missed the first live one, but you're able to join in on the second live one. You can always go back and watch the first one afterwards. And you've got those keys for as long as you want them. And it doesn't matter where in the world you are, you've got access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. Absolutely. And during the courses, what will happen is Louise will cover 3 different colouring techniques. So the first one will be colouring with Dorso crayons. So in the booklet, it sort of gives you a guideline of what you're going to be covering under each of these different modules. At the beginning of the book, it gives you your essential equipment, and these are what you would use throughout all of the different modules. And then there'll be products that you need specifically for that module. So for example, we launched a lovely collection of brand new plates, which I'll share with you shortly. So that's on day 1. Day 2, we'll then be working with the Perga colours. Day 3, then working with the Pergaliner A and B pencils. Okay. Inside, you've got a full list of ingredients. Now, this list of ingredients is also available for you to view or download on the website. So if you go into item number 60227, scroll all the way around to the product description, there's a little link you can click, and it will open it up on your computer, and you can either read it on there. And many of you, I'm sure, have got a lot of these different items. So, for example, the plate mate, 35 squares, Groovy guard, Groovy tabs, tumble dry sheet, etc. If you're into your picot cutting, then you've probably got either the Perga cutters, the exclusives, or the ring locks. Dorso oil, blending pens. As I say, it may look like, I mean, Groovy, I know when we're prepping a demo, either to share with you here on Clarity TV or on Hobby Maker. We do a list of ingredients that's used to create the piece. And with Groovy, the list just for one project can be as long as that. And then with sort of like stamping or die cutting, it could be just 5 or 6 different items. But the way in which Groovy works, or parchment craft work, is that it's all these little different bits and pieces that creates that beautiful artwork. So you can have a look at the ingredients list before you decide if you want to purchase the course. And that's the same for all of the previous courses as well. Now, the books will be sent out when you place the order, and the invite to the classroom will be sent out beginning on Monday. Jim's almost finished the classroom. I'm just building the database. And then what we do is we send out an invite to everyone that's purchased that course. And if you haven't been onto the Circle platform before, you'll have to just create an account. And then when you go in there, you'll see your classroom. There's a Q&A room there as well, so you can ask any questions. And then I know when we've done the previous ones, it's lovely after we've done each session, and our students then post what they've done. Even if it's rubbish, even if they think, oh, I've made a hash of this and I've made a hash of that, they still share it. So never be ashamed to share what you've created, because if you're not sure why it went wrong, then there could be someone there that can help say, oh, have you tried this? Or have you tried? Oh, they're not going to say, no, that's rubbish. You shouldn't have put that on. It's all about sharing and caring. It really, really is. And for me, that's what Clarity is. It's the heart of Clarity. So if you're interested in doing that one, then the item number is on your screen, which is 60227. And we did launch a set of lovely plates to work alongside this collection. So this is 42505. This is the Festive Frame and Sentiments A6 Square Groovy Plate Collection. Let's bring up a full screen image of that. These are baby plates. These are our A6 Square baby plates. Designs taken from, you'll recognize some of Linda Williams designs. And these are just the perfect size for learning the various different techniques. And then when you've learned those techniques, you can then transfer them to other plates in your collection. All of the plates are available individually, as always. But if you wanted the full collection, item number for that is 42505. Maybe you just want to, Louise will be using Merry Christmas, Season's Greetings, and Joy to the World. But we've always sort of done a collection of 4 because it's a nice number. So if I go to the overhead and let's have a look at those there. So the first one is Joy to the World, 42501. It looks like we're having a little shaky, but it isn't. It is the overhead, so I'll try not to stay on it too long. I wonder if, let me see if I can go on to this one. Okay, right. Bear with, I'm just going to adjust that side camera, because for me, looking at the shaky camera overhead, making me a little bit woo. So I'm just going to adjust this so I zoom out a little bit. Okay, that should be fine. Is it doing it for you at home as well? Does it look as if sort of that we've got the wobbles on the screen? It's only when the wind blows. Fortunately, it's not as windy down here as it has been up in Scotland. I saw it on the news last night. Very, very windy. Okay, so let's try this camera. There we go, so that's better. So this one is from Josie Davidson, and she's used our lovely rub-ons. So this is the, Grace said, yeah, it's wobbling. Yeah, I'm sure if you're sort of suffering a little bit with like a headache or something, it's not helping. So there we go. So I've just adjusted that one. So that one is Josie Davidson. This one here is from Glynis, Joy to the World. You can always tell Glynis's pieces of artwork because she's fantastic with a multi-needle tool around the outside. And that is using the angle tool. Then we've got this one from, you'll get fed up with me saying, this is lovely, this is lovely. They're all lovely. If I was coming that way now. This one is Carol Baker, and she has used Linda's swirly Christmas tree frame around the outside. And the item number for that is 42046. And it ties in beautifully with the Joy to the World plate in the middle. Then the next plate in the collection is your Merry Christmas, item number 42502. So that's got the lovely poinsettias on there. However, I know when we looked at the artwork, which I've got in this pile here, it doesn't have to be a poinsettia. This one here from Josie Davidson, lovely white work on there, and that grid frame around the outside. But for me, the poinsettia, that lovely crisp white design in the middle. And this was the one I was talking about. This is from Jill Askham. So all of a sudden now, it doesn't look like a poinsettia at all. It looks very sort of autumn-like. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? And Jill has done some lovely stitching in the frame around the outside. Then we've got one from Karen Jackson. Love this one. So it doesn't matter what level of parting you're at, whether you're new to it, whether you've been doing it for a while. These Christmas frames are really nice for quick and easy cards. I mean, if you're doing it on designer parchment, then some of the designs you don't need to add any colour to. Then the next one in the collection is your Peace on Earth, item number 42503, and that's a lovely rose and fern in there. So let's have a look at some artwork on this one. Jane Telford. That way. And Jane's actually pico cut the centre and used one of our rub-ons. This one, another one from Karen Jackson, like so. And then another one, this was really nice, Carol Baker, the very soft and it's quite snowy-like, isn't it? So yeah, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Peace on Earth, definitely. Finally, we've got Season's Greetings. And this is the Christmas rose. You've got some mistletoe in there. You've got holly. And then we've got some stunning artwork. This one's from Jane. I quite like this effect of, what do you think? Is this better this way, bringing the artwork in, or is it nicer on the overhead? Got perg glitter on there. That Christmas rose looks as if it's been stuck on. That is amazing. Well, all the artwork's amazing. I don't know why. It's just, this one's from Glynis. Same colorways. This has got more, let's have a look. I would say, I don't know. Right, let me bring both of them. I'm going this way. I think it's the background color that gives it a different look, isn't it? It's the same layout. I reckon to get the same layout, it's that way, isn't it? Yeah, there we go. You can see it's the same layout, but because you can put your sentiment in there anyway, any direction, really nice. And then finally, this one from Karen Jackson. And well, we're going that way. Very soft and subtle. The green's really nice. I love that on there. So that is your plate. So they are all available individually. And they were the plates that Louise will be using on that course as well. I mean, if you've got the plates we released previously, you can obviously use those or plates in your own collection, but they are the designs that Louise will be working towards. And there was one other item that we launched during that, when we launched the 123 colouring course, and it proved so popular. So I'm going to bring, I'm going to have to do this on the overhead. Let me do on this. So this is item number 70489. This is your Pergamano pink sponge. Okay, brand new. You've got your two mix mats. You've got one for water and one for oil. And you have your Pergamano brush round number 2 brush. Okay, so the details on that one, I don't think I put it on there. It was one of those lastminute.com things. But I think that's £32.96. No, I'm talking rubbish on that. That was something. That was the sticky ink bundle. But I'm sure Grace will, I mean, it's in the show page. If you go to the show page for today. Now, what's really special about this sponge is that it is available individually. It's only £1. And many of you have been sort of like, I need to top up my basket to get free postage. So let me just explain, because when I took delivery of them, I'm thinking, this isn't right. So let me come in on this one. So this is your sponge. If you want 1 or 10 or 20, the item number is 70488. Okay, they're £1 plus your club discount. So if you're a Diamond Club member, it brings it down to 85p. Now, when you get the sponge, that's the sponge. Okay, but once it's wet, that happens. Okay, and it's a wood pulp sponge, so it's not like one that you would use to do your washing up. I mean, you could do your washing up with it, it wouldn't do much washing up in it. But it's sort of, because it's got all the pockets in it, it works perfectly for the technique that Louise is going to be covering in that course. And once you've added water, it won't go back to what it was. And when it dries out, it just looks like a crisp. Like sometimes it dries and it looks like a Pringle when it's dry. And you're just in water, and it just needs to be damp. But say Louise will go through all of that as part of that course. Now, if you are new to Clarity, we have a whole section on the website for our online courses. And it all started off at the summer retreats last year with a piece of artwork that Barbara created. And it was all about collage papers. But it started just before that, which Barb shared with us on Sunday during the 3 o'clock show. And it was sort of, in a way, it's gone full circle. And it started off with some lovely tea infusion collage papers. All that information is on the Sunday show, but it's where the online courses started from, because not everyone can come to our retreats. And when our friends at home on social media saw what had been created, they said, oh, we can't get there, we're the other side of the world, or in America, or etc. etc. So Bar thought, you know what, maybe we should look at doing online courses. And this is where the Circle platform came about. And the very first one was the Lighthouse 12x12 collage course. So if you go to our website, there's a section called, right on the front page, called Clarity Classroom. And you'll find all of the online workshops that are coming up, i.e. the colouring one with Louise, and the ones that have happened before, and you can still purchase them. Because it's already been done and you're buying the key to that classroom, you can go back in anytime you want. Okay, and in a way that sort of brings me round to where it all sort of, the project started from, which was our annual retreats. We are just around the corner from this year's annual retreats. So we've still got some spaces available. If you want to get all inky and arty with Barb, it's at the fantastic Ditton Community Centre near Maidstone. For those, I'm going to have to come on that. That's doing my head in. For those of you that come to our open days, I need to get this, then you'll be familiar with Ditton. So it's 60211, and that is the Monday and Tuesday, the 18th and 19th of August. And that's Inky and Artie with Barb. If you can't make the Monday and Tuesday, then we also have the Wednesday and Thursday available. The item number for that is 60212. So it's the same 2 days, just repeated on the Wednesday and Thursday. Then we have a day break. We just sort of rejig everything around. And then on the Saturday, you can get Groovy with Linda Williams, Barbara, and myself. And that is item number 60213. We decided to put our annual parchment retreat just on the end of our summer retreats because we were there, and it just made perfect sense that why not tag on the parchment retreat at the same time. It's a fantastic venue. It's so light, and it's got free parking. You get a sort of a sandwich lunch over the 2 days. We'll be sending out an email to everyone that is coming, just to sort of a little bit of housekeeping. Maybe it's the first time you're coming. So if you want some more information about those, you can either call the office on the number below, 01732 868 215, or if you go to our website, I'm sure Gracie will pop a link up that takes you to all of our events, i.e. our open days in November, 1-day workshops in November, and the retreats. If you're a club member, you also get your club discount as well. But I know because I'm keeping dead, there are a few spaces available on each of those 2-day blocks as well. Okay, I know some of you leave it sort of last minute to decide, but I'd say decide now rather than later, because once they're full up, they're full up. Right, let's have a slurp of coffee. I've been waffling for forever. I know you're all hanging on for a sneaky peek. I'm terrible, making you wait right to the end, and then it's a power cut. Can't do it. I can't show you then, can I? I know. So Tony Mins wants to know if I've received my PTC. There is an envelope. I've got a pile of envelopes to open, so I'm sure it's in that pile there. So as soon as I'll try and do it after I've done this, and then I'll let you know, Tony. So apologies if it has and I haven't come back to you sooner, but I'll check that pile. Yeah, there's been a lot going on the last couple of days, having a chance to open the post, so to speak, or my post anyway. So yeah, I'll do that after the show. Right, what else? Okay, let's have a little bit of a looky. So we've got the French lace Midi Groovi and Platemate collection. Each of these items are available individually. The Platemate definitely makes a difference. I mean, value for money on that Platemate is absolutely astounding. And they're going to work, that Platemate is perfect for the next collection that I will be launching on Friday. If you're looking to attend one of our lovely online courses, then the latest one, which kicks off on the 3rd of September, the item number for that is 60227. And as I mentioned previously, there's no club discounts on the online courses. Okay. Then the one that we've done previously was the white work. So you can see these are different design plates here, which are also available. Item number for that is 60223, and that's £60 as well. And it all started really, well, not really, it did start with the 123 foundation course. Item number for this is 60220. What I love about, let me just see where it's, what I love about our online courses is that Once you've got the key, you can go and watch it whenever you want. So if you're just engrossed in the live, for example, and then all of a sudden there's somebody at the door or the phone rings, you're not going to miss out because you can go back and watch it afterwards. And the way you get these lovely books, so it's sort of like your syllabus sort of thing, for this is what we're going to cover in this particular thing. And they're all standalone. So you don't need to have gone and done the foundation course before you can go into the colouring course, or you don't have to do the foundation course to go and do the white work course. If you're happy with your basic understanding of Groovy and parchment craft, but you just want to concentrate more on white work, then you can go and do the white work one. Or if you're happy with your white work, but not so sure on your colouring, you can just do the colouring. And then in November, there'll be a perforating and picot cutting one. So maybe you want to, you think, right, well, I'm fine on that, but I really could do with some help and tuition when it comes to perforating and picot cutting. Then when we release that one later in the year, you can sign up to that one. I describe it as, when it first started off, like with the canvases, it was sort of like Barb had this idea, and it's taking shape now, to have this sort of like virtual college, and that once you buy a course, you've got access to the college, and then you can decide, right, I want to do this course, so I'll buy the key to that one, and then, right, I want to do this one now, I'll buy the key to that one. So once you've bought a course, you've got access to the college, so to speak. And the way that I look at it, it's like a corridor. So you've come into your main entrance of your college. Down this side is your inky arty site on that side. And then on this side is your Groovy, your parchment craft, your clean and tidy crafting. So it started off on with the lighthouse classroom. Then it went on to, so it went to there, so it went like the viaduct. Then we went across the corridor and we went to the Groovy Foundation course. Then we jumped back over to the corridor and we did the stamping one with the landscapes with Barbara. Then we jumped back over and did the white work course. And then we jumped back again and we did the college landscape with the dies. And so now we're jumping back over again to do the colouring course. And I know we'll soon be jumping back over that side because Barb has been working on some amazing upcoming online courses as well. So the college is definitely filling up, and it's filling up with people as well. But that's the beauty of it. You're in a community, but you're not cramped. You haven't got to fight for a chair to sit at the front and oh, I can't hear what the teacher's saying. I need to turn it up or I need to turn it down. Oh, I need the bathroom. So you can imagine going to a live workshop and just saying to the tutor, hang on a minute, there's someone on the phone, can you stop? And there's that whole room of people going. You've got that power in those classrooms. And that's one of the, I love that thing as well. Yeah, there are so many benefits to the online courses, and they're proving so popular. And with those, there isn't any limit to how many people we can get in the classroom because you're all doing it in the comfort of your own home. So yeah, definitely check out the Clarity Classroom page on the website. Maybe this is the first time you've heard about them. Have a look, and you've got a description on each of them. And you may think, oh, you know what, I want to give that a go. Definitely value for money. Right, what else have I got to share with you? Let me see, where's my list gone? Shall I tell you what's coming up the rest of this week? I can hear you from here, all shouting at the TV. I know. I'm gonna. Dare I pop into the chat to see what's going on? I'm gonna go into the chat. Let me scroll all the way down. Oh, you have been chatting well, haven't you? Goodness me. Oh dear. Yes. Right. Okay. So coming up for the rest of this week, we're Tuesday now. So Thursday evening, back in the shack with Barb at 7 p.m, continuing the road trip across America with Barb and Sam Crow. And then, so that's on Thursday at 7. So that'll be lots of fun. Then on Friday, 10 o'clock, Clarity Social TV here at 10 o'clock. Barb is going to be launching a brand new collection of stamps. Inspiration taken from her road trip in Paris with lovely Gracie. So yeah, at present, it's 2 stamp sets. Okay. But originally it was going to be 1, and now it's going to be 2. So come Friday, who knows? So that's on Friday at 10 o'clock on Clarity Social TV. Then on Friday, I'll be at Hobby Maker at 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock. So it's like 2 hours back to back. And then again at 6 o'clock. And I will be sharing the lovely French lace Midi collection with all our friends at Hobby Maker, together with a brand new set of Midi plates. These are called Linda's Floral Shapes. Okay, I've teased you enough. I know. Now, you may recognize these designs. These are designs that were taken from Linda Williams contour plates, which we discontinued a while back. But they were perfect to be midified, so to speak. They would have been too small as an A6 square plate. And so these are perfect. I like that word, midified. Midi. I'm going to own that one. I don't think anyone's come out with that yet. So you may be familiar with the designs. I've already got them in the contours and everything. Jazz has put her little twist on it. She's made a couple of little changes. So, what's the wind like? Oh, it's too windy. I can't show you. Okay, let's come over to this camera. Right. So this is the first one. So this is these are Linda's Floral Shapes, and this is the Rose Heart. So Jazz has added a couple of little corners in there, a couple of accents. You've got the lovely heart in the middle. Sorry, Shari. Sorry, not sorry. Then the next one in the collection is the Sweet Pea Square. Love this one. But as I say, when you look, I mean, the midi size, these are just your normal Groovy plates. Okay. Then the third one in the collection is the tulip round. So on the tulips, Jazz has added this lovely frame in there. She's put these corners in there as well. And they just work beautifully. And then the fourth one in the collection is the Hellebore hexagon. Oh, bit of a mouthful. And you've got corners on there as well. The lovely Hellebore. You've got the pattern in the middle, the shape in the middle as well. So they'll be available on our website probably on the Thursday evening, I reckon. So if you want to get in early for those. But I will be on Hobby Maker with them at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. And the lovely Jane Telford has very kindly, very much appreciated, prepared 3 demos. 3. I'm hopeful, but we know it's like on live TV. So where are we now? Tuesday. So my job on Thursday is to go through exactly what Jane's done, build an ingredients list, build the rest of the show, ready to share with you on Friday. And if I don't, I know I'm not going to get to all 3 of them, but I'll be back with you on Tuesday afternoon I'll go through them in a little bit more detail on Tuesday afternoon. So Sherry said, will I be making an order? Watch this space. You can't play my line, Sherry. You can't say watch this space, because I know if you say watch this space, like I say watch this space, then it's a done for, isn't it? You've already ordered them. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward. I mean, the designs, I mean, they're beautiful when they're in the A5 square contour plate, absolutely stunning. But I think we seem to be going more MIDI even. And to have these designs for smaller pieces of artwork that hasn't lost any detail, and to be further enhanced with little tweaks from the lovely Jazz. And sometimes it can be about time, sort of tracing out a smaller design, tracing out a larger design, swings and roundabouts. Yes, you can put, put in the comments, Paul made me do it. They have a laugh down in retail when they're picking and packing the orders, and it says, Paul made me do it, or Barbara made me do it. They really chuckle when puts a smile on their faces when they're packing the orders, because they get to see those little comments. Yeah, the pickers and the packers and the person that prints off the orders sees those little messages that you leave in the comments on your order. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to sharing these with you. And the artwork, it's still coming in, and absolutely what's coming so far is stunning. And so I'm really looking forward to those, and to have them in the MIDI with the plate mate. And when you look at the designs that are on the plate mate that Jazz created, I can already see, like, for example, that corner there would work beautifully, even though it's a heart, or this one here would work beautifully, or even this one or this one. So all these corners and frames are just going to work beautifully with this current collection of MIDI plates. It really is. I forgot to trace the rest of that corner. It's right, you don't get half a corner. I think they just forgot to trace that bit out when they were testing it. So yeah, and you've got happy birthday. You've got the lovely, that's the Jane Nesterenko font, I think. So you've got happy birthday, you've got thinking of you, happy anniversary, and best wishes. So Jazz really has put a little mark on the designs as well. Pat says, when a package arrives, my husband always asks what I've made you buy. I don't mind taking blame for things like that. Absolutely. As long as you get enjoyment out of it, I'm happy to take the blame on that. Mini plate, can we also have some more? Mini plates are in the pipeline. Poor Jazz, her fingers are so hot on the computer because we've got so much coming up. I can't say anything. Barb and Jazz have been working like mad. That trip to America definitely cleared the old cobwebs, not old, the cobwebs, and made things a lot clearer for Barb and the design since she's been back. I mean, I said to you the other week, right, Barb's back on Monday. When will we have the first new thing? And what was the first new thing? It was the Pergamano pot holder. But that week, there's been so much in there. Jazz has got so many different windows open. I've got this one, and I'm working on this one. And then, because obviously they get together and their heads go, and they're like, let's add this, let's add that. It really, I wish you could be a fly on the room when they get together. Because it is amazing. And then Bob said, right, let's tweak it this way, let's tweak it that way. And then the prototypes are made, and then they're tested. And if Barb's happy with them, she might come back and say, well, let's just do this, or let's just do that. So we never go for, because on a computer, I mean, Jazz works with a big screen. On a computer, it looks absolutely amazing. But unless you've got the actual product in your hand and you test it, it may look good on the computer, but not good when you come to use it. And because we make it ourselves, we know that we can trick that. We haven't got to wait for it to come in from a different supplier. So yes, so there is lots and lots of goodies in the pipeline. There's just not enough hours in the day, but it's better to have lots and lots of designs coming out than not. That's all I can say. So thank you for keeping it. I know I was terrible. I kept you right to the end, but you knew I was going to do that anyway, because that's what I do. It's been a while since. It's been a while. Yeah. Maybe I'll do it a bit more often. No. So thank you as always for your company. Thank you to the lovely Gracie for keeping everyone company in the room and popping up the links. And yeah, so Barbara will be with you on Thursday evening at 7, continuing, say, the road trip. Turtle is on Thursday evening. And then Barbara will be back here on Clarity Social TV at 10 o'clock with some designs inspired on her trip to Paris with Grace. And it's not Beyonce stamps. Sorry, Grace, not Beyonce stamps. But yeah, you'll see on Friday. And then Hobby Maker 1, 2, and 6. And then back in the shack on Monday at 10. And the next mini makes on Monday at 2 o'clock. So thank you as always. I really love your company, even though you're not in the room, but just knowing that there's somebody out there, whether you're listening or not, it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. So enjoy the rest of your day, whatever the weather. It's definitely still windy down here. And I'll see you again very soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.